nobody's like law enforcement or anything? Where's this federal agent thing coming into play?
That's what he said. He said I'm a federal agent.
Yeah, he is or you are?
He said I'm a federal agent. He's filming me while I'm trying to pump my gas. He's got the camera on my face. He's following around, taking pictures of my car, walking around on the side over here. I don't want anybody sticking their camera in my face. I don't know what he's trying to do with this.
So you were just...
I'm pumping my gas here. I'm pumping my gas. He parks or he's walking over there. He comes with his camera. He's filming me pumping my gas. Starts walking around my car. Takes a picture of the license plate, I'm assuming. Comes around over here. I said, what are you doing? Why are you filming me? I tried to grab his phone. I don't know who this is. It's my car. My car's my car. Okay. But I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah. Remember this story we brought you?
I filmed him. I think he's a federal agent.
Okay.
And he got very angry that I was filming him. And he ran up to me, he grabbed me, he threw me on the ground.
Are you law enforcement or what's...
No.
No?
No.
No federal involvement or
Zero.
anything? Okay.
Zero. He threw me on the ground, and he tried to grab the phone out of me.
Okay.
And that's what happened.
How do you grab you? Like by your jacket or?
To be honest with you,
What do you call?
because of my adrenaline, I don't know, but there's a witness.
I'm right here.
Okay.
She probably knows better.
I and stopped at a light, and I saw this old man being tackled to the ground and pulled around like this by that man.
Of an ICE agent attacking a man in the Chicagoland area.
You work for the government or no? Do you work for the government or no? I mean, I don't know what you want me to do.
He followed me from my work.
That's where, I know, that's where this came from. Okay.
He followed me.
Because we got, that's the info we got is somebody's yelling and this and that when we were coming
He
over.
followed me from my work.
Okay. So after this, you start hollering about all that. This guy's alleging you tossed him on the ground.
Yeah, I was trying to grab his phone out of his hand.
Did he get on the ground?
Did he get on the ground?
Yeah,
he made his way to the ground.
Were you on the ground with him?
I wasn't on the ground, no.
But you're saying you obviously initiate the contact with him trying to... Where were you guys rolling around at?
He was right over there by that rock.
How'd you guys get separated? Do you remember?
I guess I got stood up, I guess, you know, and people started hollering, so...
And you didn't punch him or anything like that? Are you saying he fell to the ground when you're trying to grab the phone? Did you push him to the ground?
Well, maybe in the struggle he went down, but...
With the sole intention of grabbing the phone to delete the pictures.
Try to get him off.
This dude, Adam Saracco, would go after attorney Robert Held. Saracco would not identify himself as a federal agent. He has been charged with misdemeanor battery against attorney Held. I spoke with him about what went down. I think my first question would be, for those who are unaware, can you just explain the latest piece of news that came about with you and an ICE agent at a gas station? Just take me through step by step of what occurred.
Sure. I mean, the short version is that I went to the Broadview facility outside of Chicago, Illinois. I was protesting and decided that I was going to follow an ICE agent that left the facility. I followed a civilian vehicle. I assumed it was an ICE agent. I didn't know if he was going on a mission to, kidnap somebody or what he was going to do, but I followed at a safe distance. I obeyed the laws. When he stopped for gas, I stopped my car and got out of my car and started filming him. He was not in any kind of, clothing that would indicate he's working. And the vehicle obviously had no insignia on it or anything like that. And I filmed him by his car at this gas station and kind of moved around his car, moved to a sidewalk. He looked at me, he said nothing. And then he put down the gas pump and he started walking briskly toward me. He broke into a run and then he threw me to the ground and he was on top of me and he tried to grab my phone. And he wasn't just like trying to grab it. I mean, I used every ounce of strength that I had. And I thought I would lose the effort, but I was able to keep my phone from his grip. And cars were honking, people were shouting, and he got off me, and then I called 911.
I suppose my next question is this, because I have seen so many different videos from ICE agents warning people sternly to not follow them. Is it a crime to follow an ICE agent?
It's not a crime. It's not a crime. If you follow them repeatedly, then it might be considered stalking if it was the same person. But in this case, it was a one-off thing. So it did not constitute stalking, and it was not a crime that I committed. There was no infraction of the law. In fact, it was the First Amendment, and I was on a public sidewalk.
So when he attacked you and was on top of you and trying to get your phone, first off, why do you think he was trying to get your phone so badly?
He said why. I want to get those photos and videos, and by get them, I presumed he means delete them.
Mm-hmm. And that's also a crime for federal agents and law enforcement, correct?
To
go into someone's phone without a warrant and delete anything, whether it's a photo and or a video.
Absolutely. I mean, there were multiple crimes committed and potential crimes. He battered me, and that's what he got charged with. He tried to take my phone. He prevented me from leaving the sidewalk for those, for that period of time where he was on top of me. So there was essentially a kidnapping. It was felony battery. And of course, the Fourth Amendment prevents someone from taking what's on your person, which would be considered, in my home or on my phone. That's all Fourth Amendment protected property.
And what charges do you want to see stick in this case?
I think that justice is done by the fact that he's being charged. Ultimately, it's up to either a judge, or if it goes to trial, there'll be a jury, and they'll decide, whether he's guilty, and a judge will decide what his punishment is. But I don't know if I should say more than that, because the fact is, I'm not the decider. I mean, they asked me if I wanted to, quote, press charges, and I repeatedly said that you're the prosecutor, you're the detective. It's up to you, and ultimately I said, sure. I mean, he committed felony battery. If you agree that he did commit felony battery and you've got probable cause, you should arrest him. And if the court thinks beyond a reasonable doubt that he did it, he should be found guilty.
Were you hurt at all?
Not at all. I was lucky. I mean, I am 68 with a bad hip. I had run a long run that day. I was exhausted. My legs were exhausted, but I was uninjured.
What do you think this says about ICE agents that will attack a 68-year-old man on a public sidewalk and their behavior that goes into this practice of federal law enforcement?
Well, allow me to put it in context, because if we didn't have all the videos we have, if we didn't have the murders in Minneapolis, if we didn't have the countless evidence of what ICE is doing on a wholesale basis, then you could say that, this is just, we've all lost our temper. We've all said things and done things that we regret. We're all human and imperfect. I'm first one to stand up for imperfection. And so, in one sense, you could say he lost his temper, give him a pass. He's got a wife and kids. He has a crappy job, and he's harassed all day. But in the context of what the Vice President of the United States said, where you have absolute immunity, in the context of what Kristi Noem and the other leadership has said, and Gregory Bovino before he was sent back to California, they have enabled and encouraged this kind of aggressive behavior. It's got to stop. And if I was to extrapolate, I would say there's extremely poor leadership in the Department of Homeland Security.
I've seen many videos of you at Broadview. There was one where you were even addressing law enforcement that are in the state of Illinois. Were any of these demands that you made, rather your speech that you gave very passionately, was that well received at all, or was it just in one ear, out the other, in your opinion, with Illinois state troopers?
Rick, I love the question, because it's amazing what happened. The state police reached out to me in a very respectful and appropriate way. And just a couple of weeks ago, I was up in Minneapolis in a suburb where there was a demonstration, a noise demonstration. at a hotel where ICE was staying. And the police literally took my script that you refer to of, what law are you invoking? What do you want us to do? Why are you telling us to do this? Where should we go? Went through what I was saying into the bullhorn to the Illinois State Police many months ago, and used that as a script in order to direct the demonstrators, the protesters, as to what he wanted.
Mm-hmm. Why is this work so passionate for you? Why do you go to Broadview? Why are you going to other cities?
I get emotional because I think that in this the news coverage and the independent journalists that are covering what's happening, there's an element that is sometimes missing, and that is that these are real people. These are moms that I just saw a mom today. I'm here in El Paso, Texas right now. I just visited with a mom who's never committed a crime. Never committed a crime. She's in a facility where human rights groups have said that the conditions are inhumane. So why am I passionate? Because I have a conscience, and I have the resources, and I have the passion to speak up for those that maybe can't speak up for themselves. And I feel so strongly that every person with a conscience should do something, because what's happening in our country right now is wrong. And what I mean by that is, I don't say open the borders. I don't say everybody gets a pass. I think the law should be enforced. I just think that we should enforce the laws with respect to the Constitution and with grace and humanity. And that's what's missing in our country right now, grace and humanity.
We have seen so many videos of ICE agents in Minneapolis, obviously with the two most notable examples being the killings of Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy, but they are in Los Angeles. They have gone to North Carolina. We've even heard that they, although through my sourcing, I suppose I shall say, there are federal agents in Chicago, but it's not what it was previously. There is a sentiment that they are going to return in the spring. What would be your message to those who are going to want to organize, and what would you tell them to do in order to, for lack of a better word, fight back against ICE agents?
I'm becoming more militant. I am becoming more passionate. I'm becoming more resolute. And I'm not somebody that's going to cross a line and say that it's not enough to document what they're doing, to stay aware of what our government is doing, what's happening in our communities, what's happening with our neighbors, what people are going through. And I wouldn't say that it's not enough, to go out and protest, to talk to your legislators, to write letters to the editor, to speak up, to stand up, and to try to resist in every way that you can. But there are people, and I get messages from people all the time that make references to the Second Amendment and, in very dark terms, talk about the next election. And the government has made statements about ICE having a role at the ballot box. I mean, there is really, really crazy stuff that's being talked about by the administration. And so it's more important than ever that everybody register to vote and actually vote and do the things that I just alluded to, a minute prior.
Robert, where can people find your stuff, and how can they support you?
I don't need support. Immigrants need support. Everybody that is affected by what the government is doing needs support. There's charitable organizations. There's legal aid organizations. There are community groups. There's signal chats and rapid response groups. On Instagram, I'm Rob Held 1, but I'm going to keep doing it. I've got the resources and the passion, the energy and the drive. I'm going to keep going. And I just want everybody to do something, whatever it is, to become aware and help resist where our country is going and what this administration is doing.
Attorney Held, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTSports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.